was wondering what was going on with the scissor cups.
Scissor.
What?
Yeah, that's what you drink the scissor out of.
Oh, a syrup.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
scissor. I'm like, what
that's
the
better. Is
fuck
it?
is that?
Yeah.
The promethazine. and,
Wait, which one?
I don't know why.
No, I didn't. Couldn't. These were back there, and I didn't see these ones.
yeah, that's Lil Wayne. That's his preferred cup when he was on the scissor.
A styrofoam cup.
Yeah, that's like the thing. For whatever reason, you drink scissor out of a big fucking styrofoam cup like that, and you fill it with like promethazine and like codeine and like a bunch of other shit. And then you
Yeah, is that how the rumor started that he like died or was like near death
lot in
on
here.
tour?
Some red shit in here.
something, but like he also had a song about like it was like a B-side track, and it was like only when the drugs are over do I feel like dying, and like all this, you know, it's like some Beatles fucking Abbey Road corny shit that people just wanted to start hype about.
All right, you ready? Recording?
Yeah, we've been recording.
Okay.
Oh fuck!
Oh, lovely.
Well, let's see here.
Don't air any of that stuff about Natalie.
With the little Wayne doing smack or whatever you were saying, that's
yeah,
fine.
Lil Wayne, that's okay.
Yeah.
Promethazine, you know,
Yeah.
scissor.
All right. Anyway, here's the opening. Note.
Here's
That was weak.
Pull it over the cup. And, cheers to everybody here.
Yes,
Hold up.
another episode.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's get to it.
That sip was brought to you by Bullet Bourbon Frontier Whiskey.
Bullet Bourbon Frontier Whiskey.
Hopefully, you'll be sponsoring us soon.
Yep.
Look forward to it.
Yep. We sent out some feelers. Hopefully that email goes through and
Hopefully you
we get some
received
good
it.
Things. Yeah.
Don't send us any dumb shit to say either. Like, we'll say stuff you want, but none of it's too
It's
dumb.
all going to sound really cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be really cool about it. So let's hit that. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right, so we have
That's
some
enough time.
motherfuckers to thank.
Yeah. So let's start off. This episode 5 of Grown Up Human Comic People is brought to you by Pizzarella at 1302 East Carson Street on the south side. They were kind enough to help us get some delicious pizzas here before the podcast.
Very good.
Get our,
Yeah.
our bellies nice and full. Honestly, I think it's the best. I'm not just saying this because they helped us get some pizzas, but I started going there because I like it way better than all the other pizzas on the south side.
South side.
Yeah, on down south side. So, if you're injured down on the block of like between near 13th Street, hit them up. Alex is real nice, and tell him we said hi, and get yourself some delicious pizza. They sell them by the slice and by whole pizzas, and they don't skimp on the toppings.
Meat lovers.
No.
That meat lovers was very seriously stacked. That was great
Oh, from last time.
from last time. Yeah.
Yeah, and eating pizza will up your mole person status by at least 3 points.
That's true. That's true.
It builds the physique necessary for that sort of pretension.
but it really is. It's very delicious. So thanks to Alex, and hopefully we'll get some more pizzas from you in the near future.
Yeah.
And let's go right into some. I guess we should introduce ourselves. We always do that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So once again, to my left.
I'm Dan.
I'm Greg speaking.
Jer.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jared, and this is Grown Up Human Comic People. Welcome to the podcast. Dan, let's kick it off with some shop talk.
Shop
Why not?
talk?
Shop talk. Do that shop talk.
Big release this week. Secret Wars number 8.
It's always fun to
Fucking
say
finally.
Big release.
Yeah, it was good though. I'm not going to say it was worth the wait because nothing is worth waiting this long for a book that was supposed to come out in September, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was good. It had a lot of cool
It
moments.
was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you had a giant size thing.
Not just a thing, but the thing.
The thing. Yeah, like
yeah.
clobbering time.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah.
Like throwing down with Galactus.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a very cool Groot moment.
Yeah.
A little Doom Thanos interaction where
Yeah.
Doom straight doomed him.
Yeah, it was definitely. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
good.
Best of the series, I think.
Yeah. I mean, and we talked about this before. Once it's all collected into one thing, all those the weight. We'll forget about that in
Right.
time, and you'll
Right.
once you read it through, it'll be like, wow, this artwork's great.
Mhm.
The story's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Comical note though, number 9 was originally solicited. Well, there was no number 9. and
Yeah,
then
which
they,
is bullshit. I
yeah.
don't fucking like that.
and they added a 9, and then they said it was going to come out December 29th, and then it got bumped to January 6th, and then within 2 more days it got bumped to January 13th. So that's the grand conclusion of Secret Wars.
about time.
Yeah. So that's. I hate to blow Marvel every time it's shop talk, but they are number one for a reason.
Yeah, they do a bunch of stuff all the time. So.
Yeah, and they had quite a few new series come out this month, and some others continue on. Yeah, that's shop talk.
All right,
come on down. We'll talk more.
All right, we've what's that guy? Yeah?
The Game the Halls.
Oh yeah. We had another person that we wanted to give a shout out to.
Yeah, it's about an event. Pittsburgh Retro Gaming is working in collaboration with Victory Point, which is a cool arcade on Carson Street. It's 1113 to 1115 East Carson. So a ways down there. But they're doing a Game the Halls night, day from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on January 10th. And it's cool. So I just talked to Brian. Brian is one of the co-founders of Pittsburgh Retro Gaming, and he's like a nerd from way back in the day. This dude in high school, he's like an uber nerd, but now you wouldn't know. Now you wouldn't know because he's got this facade when he's due to his job. He seems super just rough, do not fuck with this motherfucker, right? But he doesn't let on that he and I and another friend may have been practicing katana skills in the attic of his parents' house, which was his command center. And we may or may not have been throwing fruit so that he could, demonstrate his katana prowess.
Fruit ninja.
What kind of fruit?
Apples, oranges, stuff that...
Stuff that his mom definitely was missing the next day.
Yeah, she was pissed. He had nothing in his
Where's
lunch
my
for
fruit?
We may or may not have covertly crawled down the stairs to the second floor with a blowgun so that he could shoot darts into his little sister's stuffed animals. I mean, this may or may not have happened, but he certainly isn't letting it on if it did.
So if you go to the what's the event called?
The Game the Halls.
If you go to Game the Halls, make sure to talk to him about all those things that Dan just blew up the spot about.
Yeah. Although if you meet him, you might be like, no, I'm not going to say shit because I don't know if this actually happened. And if he's holding a katana, definitely don't fucking say that shit because he may or may not be able to slice up your entire lunch in less than a second. But so right now, these guys, it's going to be a whole day event. They're going to have 2 floors. There's going to be a panel with indie game developers in that are based in Pittsburgh right now. They're gonna have console games, arcade games. They're gonna have competitions. So if you're fucking good at some retro console games or arcade games, you win something. And then if you buy an admission ticket, then you're automatically general admission. You're automatically included in these giveaways leading up to the event. So right now they had a giveaway or I don't know if it's currently going on. But they were giving away a whole box set with N64, an N64 with a bunch of fucking games and all sorts of cool shit. Yeah, some really rad shit.
Yeah.
How much is entry? How much did you say that?
I didn't say that, and I'm looking at the.
I would pay probably up to. I mean, for a chance to win a 64 with a bunch of. I already have a 64, but I mean, I could put another one in a different room.
Yeah.
I would have a bunch
Also,
of
it's got
new games
some
and
good
stuff, too.
controllers on it because some of those controllers, man.
Yeah. Those. I think you can buy new ones though.
Can you?
They're not Nintendo branded, but I think they.
Yeah.
You can still buy new ones.
That's the 9th or the 10th, did you say?
It's the 10th, and it's from 10 a.m. until or 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
And it's saying you'll win a minty Mega Man 64 CIB. I don't know, bunch of shit, but it's all just included with the price of the ticket. I'm sorry, I can't find the ticket price on here right now, but I can't imagine it's more than $10, and that's going to include.
You
That's
can
what I
find it.
figured,
You can
10
find it
bucks.
on probably on Facebook.
Yeah, you can absolutely find it on Facebook. It's on my personal page. I'll share it on the Southside or the Grown Up Human Comic People Southside
Yeah, that's a
Comics.
good idea.
Yeah, that's a Sunday, by the way.
Uh,
Throwing it out.
yeah. So that's going on. I
case
told
you
him
have
we
church.
give him a shout out, and I'll toss
still
this up
fine after
maybe
church.
at the beginning
sure.
of the
It's probably
next
later in the day.
episode as
10 a.m.
well.
tulip.
Okay.
Just get some more presents. But yeah, check him out. Say what's up to Brian. Bring him a katana.
It's a hell of a gift.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, yeah. So,
Yeah.
we have a new segment. The new segment is it's called "What Yin's Reading," and it's not just reading, but what are each one of us, currently kind of either reading or watching on TV or playing a game or anything like that. So
Anything you really like that you're doing.
yeah, like a brief, in case people are listening and they want to like maybe get into something new, or maybe get an idea of like the things that we, individually are interested in.
Mhm.
So yeah, who would like to start?
Also, did the Dark Knight 3 come out? Is it out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The first issue's pretty good.
Ah,
Yeah.
We can talk about that one.
well, yeah, we will.
In the future.
Yeah,
For sure.
we'll let it get a couple in,
Yeah.
and then we'll
Yeah.
give it a
I was
good.
just wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, that's one thing I was gonna mention. I read that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Visually, like the art was beautiful, and the story. I was saying this to you the other day, Jared. Like there were so many questions throughout reading it. Like this story is going to be epic. There's
Yeah.
a lot happening. With Superman, with Batman, with Wonder Woman, like what is going on?
Yeah.
And then the title itself, The Master Race, like who is this referring to? It was just very good.
Yeah.
A good read.
Yeah. It's for the first one. I'm definitely gonna wait for the next one
Mm-hmm.
and read it. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, what else?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. Yeah.
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 Jessica.
We've all watched it.
We've all watched. We've all
We've
watched
all
at least
seen
some of it.
some, at least.
Yeah.
I watched all of it. You see all of it? Of course, Jared.
yeah, well,
he's
yeah,
seen it
yeah.
all.
Yeah, I fucking watched that whole goddamn
You watched
thing,
all
man.
of
It's
it?
like an addiction.
I'm at 8.
Oh,
I'm
really?
at 8. Yeah.
You gotta get on top of it.
I
man.
every time I sit down to watch it, I get interrupted.
You just gave him shit. Go ahead, Greg. How much have you seen?
Well, actually, what I was going to say is that
If he says he watched all of it,
just chill yourself. What I was going to say is that a few days ago I saw an interview with Kristen Ritter, who plays Jessica Jones. On
She's great.
whatever
she
whatever the show is, one of those late night talk shows. And she said in the interview that she got it came out at midnight on a Friday, I think, and the next day she was she got a phone call from her mom like late the next afternoon, and her mom called her and said that she finished the entire thing. Like she stayed up overnight.
Wow. All right, Mom.
Which is pretty funny.
That's awesome. Yeah.
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 I didn't put 2 and 2 together at the time, because I had seen the advertisements, but I didn't look closely at her. She was here in Pittsburgh in 2008, but they were filming She's Out of My League here in Pittsburgh, and
Okay.
she played like a supporting character on there. But
Yeah.
saw her around, I guess, but that was about it.
I like her in everything I've seen her in.
She was very good in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm
Fucking
not sure-
Walt let her die. That
yeah.
fucking asshole.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, if you haven't seen
still
that by
haven't seen
now.
Breaking
Yeah.
Bad, that's-
If you haven't
That's
Have
your
you
watched
heard of
fault.
it? Breaking Bad. It was a show about a chemistry teacher who made methamphetamine in
Yeah,
New Mexico.
It was something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
At the end, he dies.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you don't need to see it now. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, there it is. But she was great in that. She's also great in Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23. I don't know if anybody's.
No, you
has
told
seen
me
it.
about that.
I saw
It's-
it. I wasn't crazy about it.
Well, you have to watch a couple episodes because it actually is very funny. And what's his name? From Dawson's Creek, the main character,
James Vanderbeek.
is so funny. He plays himself, and he plays himself as kind of a douche, but he's he's fantastic. It's that show is worth watching. I think it's on Netflix too.
It is. That's where I watched it.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so Jessica Jones. I think we all watched at least a little bit of Jessica Jones.
It's very, very good.
Yeah.
Very dark. It's heavy.
It is. Yeah, it asks
It
a
is.
lot of questions.
I mean, it's basically a rape story. I mean, like it's not. The word is never mentioned.
No, she said.
Does she say it? Because I haven't
Yeah,
heard it
yeah,
through
she
8.
did.
One of the best parts is whenever she's talking to when he's talking to Kilgrave, and she says, "You raped me," and he gets really upset, and he says, no, I didn't. And he gets really like,
Okay, I'm not there. Yeah, I haven't got there
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
But like, I found it very interesting. Like through 8,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure I haven't heard it like thus far.
She does.
No,
at
he
some
does,
points,
yeah.
Okay.
Because he's all, now you wanted it like a rapist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
It's
terrible.
really,
It's
it's
so
really
creepy.
disturbing.
Yeah.
And it gives like a lot of interesting perspectives on like both of their characters. And yeah, it's great. It's
Heavy.
totally worth watching.
I-
It's super heavy.
So heavy.
I think the writers really fucking outdid themselves whenever there was this dialogue between Kilgrave and Jessica where he was presenting her with like supporting like, well, this is what happened. This was our interaction.
Mhm.
And you find yourself being like, fuck, like questioning it. You know,
Yeah, it's like, he's a little crazy, but yeah, like how much of that is he making up, and like how much of it is kind of like her remember them just the two of them remembering things differently.
right, and like this, just like finding him even just briefly, maybe not entirely culpable, you know, or like is there a ratio at all of culpability?
It's when he talks about his the nature of his power. Okay, for those of you that don't know, we probably should just briefly talk
Yeah.
about this. The
Especially-
Kilgrave,
yeah.
or the otherwise known as the Purple Man,
Purple Man.
his power is that if he suggests something to someone, they are absolutely compelled to do it. They can't help themselves. They just do it no matter what.
Mhm.
So if he in one episode he says, "Go stand over there forever," and this dude is just standing looking against the fence, and then like a whole episode later, you'd see that same guy like he's like crying and he is soiled himself and he's
Mhm.
about to fall over, but he just hasn't moved from that spot because
Right.
Kilgrave told him to stay there,
Yeah.
and which is obviously horrible and makes Kilgrave a sociopath.
He's the worst kind of villain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but also when he describes what it's like for him and how it's been like for him growing up, he describes he never there's no way for him to know if someone does something because they want to do it or because he suggested it to them. So it's not a defense of him, but he gives a really like interesting makes you think about how would you turn out if you had that power.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and not just that, but like suggesting to her that like she wanted it, you know.
Right.
And it's the same sort of rhetoric like you hear in these like women like abuse,
Mhm.
whatever, like these different events of whatever, date rape, and these different allegations where women are apprehensive about reporting it because they don't want to go through that. And there I am watching a fucking Netflix series and experiencing like that same thing, and
Mhm.
afterwards I was like, fuck, like
Yeah.
it's a goddamn Netflix series.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was intense. It's really intense, and I think anybody who does have some sort of sexual violence in their background are gonna be shaken up by this series,
Yeah.
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and me just, you know, existing in the world and having people close to me who have, you know, had similar experiences. I mean, it was tough for me to watch it.
It was
Yeah.
it was rough. I mean, it definitely like was a show after you watched, you really thought about it after the fact.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the
Although-
most intense thing they've done so far.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
especially for Marvel.
First episode is two superheroes fucking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Breaking
Hard.
the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They broke
Yeah.
the bed.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Busting up walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went all the way to the edge.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, they let you know that with this series we're not holding back.
No,
Yeah.
no. Kilgrave, he is the best villain
Yeah.
Marvel has trotted out on the screen
Yeah.
thus far.
Yeah.
Oh, I laughed really hard that one scene where he tells one guy to throw the coffee in his face on the street. Just the way it happened, it was so funny. Like, throw that coffee in your face.
Hey, just, ah!
It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says something to especially to the writing and just the direction, everything,
Yes.
the acting, where because by all rights you should absolutely hate him, and you do. But David Tennant's such a great actor.
Holy
and-
shit, his
and
range
the
is
writing
amazing.
The writing is so good that
Yeah.
you know sometimes you're like, oh, you know, you forget yourself for a second. You're like, oh, that was kind of funny. And they're like, actually, this guy's a fucking rapist. Never mind. I can't
Right.
believe I just thought that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is fantastic. And it will make you like think about a lot of those issues, which I think is really important because a lot of
Well, anytime there's like an actor playing a character like that, when someone has to play Captain Hook or something, you're supposed to believe that you don't think of yourself as a bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really important. Otherwise, it becomes so one-dimensional. But we're not talking about Gotham right now, so.
Oh,
Nice one. Nice one.
Zing!
about
Goddamn.
Props to David Tennant though. Like
Yeah.
that had to be a tough role, and he did a really good job. His range as an actor is very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't watched Broadchurch, but I need to.
I heard
It's
he's
great.
awesome.
Yeah, I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
You got to be able to write that character.
Absolutely.
It's not like a Thor fight where it's just like
Right.
pounding on each other. He
Yeah.
can fight whoever. and
Or
it's
even the
like-
whole Thor movie where you write him in, it's like, oh, put Thor in a diner and have him break a cup and it'll be funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he'll say some Asgardian shit. And,
Yeah, you got to really be able to write that character.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. It is worth a watch.
And more so than being able to write, like you have to have lived to write that character.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that character is not written from a place of objectivity and like thinking out in the world. Like that is someone or a group of people who have had some experiences
Yeah.
that continue to resonate in
Yeah.
them. To be able to depict someone, not only to depict them and then convey, having a director who can fucking have that script, conveyed on screen.
Yeah.
Fuck, goddamn, I could go on. This is so goddamn good.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just apply to Tennant's character. It's all of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They
Especially-
all are so layered.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say especially Jessica and Patty.
Patty too.
The two of them I think are amazing characters because they both have experienced some kind of either sexual assault or some kind of some position or some situation that put them in a position of having no power at all,
Trauma, like
right,
severe
like a
trauma.
serious trauma, and then as a result they kind of bounce back and they're both like really strong characters.
Yeah.
As a result, and actually, and let me use this word again, they're real strong female characters. They're not a babushka character. They're
No babushka.
they're actually like they seem like real people who have had real problems and like maybe not be perfect, but they get through their traumas in a mostly positive ways. Jessica Jones is definitely an alcoholic, but
Right.
she's also a superhero, so we're not really sure how drunk she gets. But
He is pretty drunk.
yeah, she gets pretty drunk. That's true.
Mhm.
But you can see that is, while you're watching them, you see both of their like how strong they are, but
Yeah.
how they're also very vulnerable.
Yeah,
There is like the strength in this presence that they embody, or it's part of them, but there's also they have to be so strong because there's this other part that's still
Yeah.
fucking very very weak or very insecure.
Right.
And you can see it again and again as Jessica is reciting the
the
street
street
names
names,
that were near her house.
Jesus, I feel so bad for her whenever that happens.
yeah,
Dude, I know,
Mhm.
right?
yeah, and it just both those characters are like well written and well acted and fully realized people.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'd like to think that maybe if there are people out there who have been victims of similar situations, that maybe they can look at those characters and be maybe inspired or can relate to them in some way and maybe
Mhm.
take some modicum of comfort from that.
Mm-hmm.
And go out and kill that motherfucker.
Go out, yeah, exactly. Go and fuck somebody up.
Yeah. So, well, that's what we've all been doing.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah, it's apparent that we've all have some thoughts.
I lit
about
some
it.
kind of fuse there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
good though.
Fuck.
I was expecting that to be a short segment, but
I
know.
goddamn, yeah.
I probably should have said that I was going through X-Files reruns first before you went like 4 seasons into it right now. But it's,
Wow,
doesn't
you-
even amount to the
wow.
same number of comments.
So what happens to Mulder and Scully?
Do they fuck?
Actually,
I really don't know because I actually never got that far. So, that was a genuine question.
That's a
Do they
genuine
fuck?
question.
Do they
One,
fuck?
one thing that I can say that I do admire about the X-Files,
Hand job?
and
Anything?
but there are offshoots, fan made, whatever. But parodies, some film genre. Anyway,
you made one? What did you say?
No, one thing that I've always liked about the X-Files was how it's not like I think even if you watch, this is different because it's a sitcom, but if you watch like an early episode of Friends or something, they kind of like telegraph that Ross and Rachel are gonna be like it's in there. But when I was watching it in the '90s when it was airing, and then even now, like I'm watching more closely, there aren't really very many clues that there's any kind of a. I mean, there might be like an attraction, I guess.
Scully is cold.
Well, they're both
cold.
Yeah, they're both cold.
Yeah,
That's
they're
the
both
thing.
cold.
Like they're both like similar age. I guess Mulder might be a little bit older, but they never do the whole like the two main characters gonna get
Yeah, it's
together.
like, sexual tension. There's not a lot of that at all.
But Mulder does
later on there.
Mulder like has that flirtatious charm sometimes.
Yeah, but he's also like a really weird dude. So like sometimes it comes off as him
he's
just being
super
weird.
Yeah.
I think like it's only maybe a couple of times per season that
Yeah.
the surface of that topic is even grazed. Where I think Scully is in Scully's like with her sister cutting vegetables or something in the kitchen, and she says like, "Oh, aren't you seeing anybody? Like, I thought you said that guy that you work with, Fox, is kind of cute." And Scully's like, "Yeah, no, he's kind of weird though." Like she like dismisses it. There's no there's actually a cut scene. This is one thing that's kind of cool about watching it on DVD. There's a cut scene from an episode. It's either in season 3 or 4. I think it's 4. Where it's a family on a farm that like they're a bunch of inbreds that like kill people, but when they're in there, they're doing
that's one of like the more famous episodes, right?
yeah, it's a really good one. But
Yeah.
they're doing an autopsy on a dead baby that they found buried in the ground near this one house, and but the town is so crappy that they like in the police station, the only room that they have to do the autopsy is the bathroom, which is like the size of a small closet, and they're in there and anyway, it's like they bump each other, and Mulder says like, "It's my pen in my pocket," and she goes, "Well, I thought that just answered a long-standing question that I've had." It's something like that. Yeah. But anyway, so like aside from that, it's just the third and especially fourth season are really good. Krychek's a great character. I don't know if you guys remember Krychek.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he the smoking guy?
No, that's he doesn't. That's
Cancer Man.
Cancer Man doesn't have a name that I know of yet.
No, I don't think so.
No, Krychek's a guy. He appeared pretty early on in season 1 or 2. He was
It's like a weird he's like superhuman powers kind of. He's
no.
like-
At one point, he does come in contact with the black oil.
Oh yeah. That gives him some kind of abilities.
Is
right?
it the Jane Cobb from Firefly?
Yeah, it's Adam Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, wait.
It looks like him. It looks a lot like him.
No. He isn't he in it at some point though?
He
thought
might
so.
be, but he doesn't play Krychek.
He's
He
not
looks a
Krychek.
lot
He's
like
not
Krychek, though.
But yeah, you're right. It's not Krychek.
But it's
Okay.
dark hair. He doesn't have any facial hair. He's I don't know. I guess a good-looking guy. He was like Mulder was out of one of the episodes, and he was like kind of the substitute FBI guy at one point, and then it turned out that
he was double agent or something.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a bunch of times, like
Yeah.
for a bunch of different.
Yeah, they're like, well, you should stop
Organization.
trusting this guy. He's kind of a dick.
But it's cool because I think he's one of the more interesting characters because he's not like it seems he's always getting into like he's always working for somebody, some shadow government of some country, and it makes you think like he's smart enough and believable enough in whoever he's lying to. He probably could have been good at anything in life, and he's still like.
Well, the question for me is how does he have contacts with all these different shadowy organizations? Like who's on his like friends list on Facebook? You know?
He's like 30.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like 30. Yeah, how can you possibly know all these like international organizations that are like horrible for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one thing in an episode that I just watched a couple of weeks ago, he did let on that his parents were Cold War defectors or something. So I mean that could mean any number of things, like maybe like through his parents' contacts he knew people. I mean I don't know.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions. I don't know how many more episodes he's in, but anyway, that's a good show.
Question: is there? Because I don't want to watch the whole series, but I want to watch
Like key episodes?
the Alien Conspiracy episodes.
I'm sure you could just look that up on like if you just like Google like which episodes involve the kind of like the main because there is kind of a main.
That's the mythology.
The main mythology.
But then there's the Monster of the Week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I want to. Although like the Monster of the Week stuff is great.
Yeah.
Some of them are.
Some of those
like,
are my favorite ones.
Really funny.
Yeah.
I love the Grace, the alien baseball player.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite episodes of any show ever. I just loved it. I thought it was so charming. But I do want to rewatch the mythology part because, damn, that shit was confusing when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I want to get a grasp on it because I don't know what the new series is going to be about. I haven't read anything about it, but
It's one of the reasons why I'm trying to catch up before.
Yeah. Well, I started watching on Netflix a little while ago, and I got to the point where I had to watch the movie, and I didn't have the movie, and it wasn't on Netflix, so I just kind of gave up.
I keep meaning to bring that over because
I have it on VHS now. I found it. I guess I did have it, but for the time I couldn't find it, or maybe I bought it after that. I don't know, but I stopped because I didn't have the movie and I had no access to it, so I didn't.
As far as those mythology episodes, that was one of the reasons why I kind of lost it in the '90s, is because there was no way to catch up. It aired, and then you were screwed if you missed it.
Right,
that's true.
Like when they became more serialized, I found that I was putting out so much effort to try to figure out what was going on, and I was never able to. So I just kind of lost.
It was really hard to. You're right. Like you couldn't go back and rewatch it really. So
people forget how shitty it was before the internet.
Or
I should say before streaming internet was the internet was fast enough for to be able to stream things, because now you're like, I think I want to watch this, and you just do it. You can just do it.
But when was the internet fast enough to stream things? Like 5 years ago?
I know, but now that we have it, it's so commonplace. I don't even think about that anymore.
Right. It's hard for people, like you just said. It's hard to fathom a time prior to
prior to 5 years ago.
Like, it's like, oh, you mean like when you were in your mid-20s?
I forgot about that. I used to go outside a lot.
Yeah. But what Greg was just talking about with the famous episode with the incest and the murdering incestual folk. Why is it that time and again TV and movies try to establish a direct relationship between inbreeding and murderous cannibalism again and again, to the point where like it just goes hand to me? It's like synonymous. Like, oh, you're inbreeding, you will fucking murder me. Like you have
no scruples or morals or anything. Like, you just go around doing whatever you want to do.
Right.
You just eat people and just have sex with your relatives and whatever you want to do. Just
dude, there was when I was in college,
now we've lost.
I did some work with fucking, people who were incarcerated, people who are like coming out or going into prison, and I dealt with I worked with like real life murderers, people like not like crazy like maniacs, but like people who've definitely committed murders and very violent crimes, and like it didn't freak me out. But I met this one dude who, one of his charges was like having sex with, his relatives. Like I don't know if it was like pedophilia charges, but like somehow, and I remember being like, oh fuck, I gotta watch out for you. You'll fucking cut me up and stick me in a meat grinder like everybody else,
with a chainsaw,
like
or
all
a hatchet.
Sorts of sick shit. Like, you sick bastard, I got my eye on you.
You're right. Yeah, TV just like establishes this completely random link between those two things.
Right. And if there's any doctors out there, and I'm sure there's dozens, masses of you listening to this podcast, if you could maybe send a note, put a link up on our Facebook page telling us like what is the probability? Is there if you can explain to us what the potential defects are that could come from a child born from incest?
Yeah.
And is there any link between that? Yeah.
And thirst for human flesh. Obviously.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
And you have to live in like an old falling apart like farmhouse.
Right.
Like every time I'm like in an area like that I'm driving through, I look at those houses and I'm like, I know what's going on in here. I have to get out of here.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers, you sick bastards. Like, meanwhile, it's just like poor farmers.
Yeah.
And you can't go to the gas station nearby because those people work at that gas station.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're not going to give you the right. Your car's not going to work like 3 miles down.
No, they're going to send you down that dirt road that goes directly to the people slaughtering barn.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, they've probably never seen The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, they don't have TV.
Or right. They're too busy having sex with their siblings
And eating people.
Jesus.
and eating people.
Eating travelers.
Eating travelers.
All right, so I'm gonna
Wow.
just say we need to get to the comic
Cut
books
it off?
because, yeah.
Oh, we're talking about comics.
Yeah, I think that's what we're, yeah.
I watched Flash
Like
and
that.
Arrow too, but
Well,
I'm gonna leave it at
What
there.
are
I'm gonna
you
leave it
doing?
there.
Stop.
And that's it. We're moving on.
Man,
But goddamn, those shows are good.
We'll talk about that.
I didn't even get to compare like Scully to Clarice Starling or the show itself to Fringe. Fringe and like how derivative Fringe is. Anyway,
Fringe is good though.
had this whole thing. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Anyway, so
Okay,
the comic books. The first book we're going to talk about is called Limbo, and one of the critiques that I got from one of our listeners was that we should spend a little bit more time describing just summarizing the book, so everyone who's listening knows exactly what we're talking about.
Well,
Just a general.
This is kind of tricky.
This
I
one
was gonna say it's crazy, makes no sense. Colors look good. There you go.
Yeah, and my reply to those people is, stop by Southside Comics,
Yes.
buy the fucking book, read it, and appreciate what we're talking about.
All right, so I'm going to actually give a little bit of summary.
Yeah, support your local
give it a
biz.
shot. Yeah. But you should come down and also buy the books. So what I take away from this book is it's set in sort of a New Orleans kind of town.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's set in our reality.
Yeah.
I don't
think
recognize that name. I don't think that's a real
Our
town.
time.
I googled the name.
not real.
Nothing comes up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
But I think it's sorry not to interrupt. Because there's a luchador mask on
Yeah.
one of the characters. There's some Spanish references.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's on Dia de los Muertos, which is the setting. The first book takes place on Dia de los Muertos, which is
Yeah.
being heavily celebrated in the town.
Yeah.
So it seems to
maybe you think maybe it's a little further south, like in Mexico somewhere.
Maybe, but
Seems
that
like
one scene, it looked like New Orleans.
Well, and also the gods that she's worshiping are Loa, and that's like a voodoo kind of
Cajun.
or I should say hoodoo. Like
whatever.
one of those like kind of transplanted
like
African
Santeria kind of.
yeah mysticism.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So I think it's
I mean, there is the Spanish. There's the French Quarter, and there's like the Spanish.
right. That's
section.
true. Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
And then
So-
those frog dudes. What were they called?
the fishmen.
The fishmen. They
those
look like
bayou-looking
bayou
motherfuckers.
dudes.
Once again, fucking incestuals.
Right.
Who-
Yeah, nailed it. He did, and they were
Listen to me,
eating.
I'm not
Yeah,
like
they're eating
celestials. they fucking
when,
eat people.
When you say it like that, it almost sounds like a racist term.
Yeah, I mean,
All these incestuals coming around here eating people.
breathing up all my air.
Stealing our jobs.
Murdering travelers, innocent people. Just you can't go anywhere nowadays.
Feasting on forearms.
So anyway, this book is about a guy who apparently lost his memory at one point. I guess it was it 6 months or 9 months prior to
Nine.
9 months prior to this book.
Well,
And-
we don't even know when, because at some point in there he throws in that he has 9 months worth of memories. Like his mind can only go back 9 months. So
Is he saying that he woke up 9 months ago, or is he saying that
he can only remember.
handle?
He can only handle 9 months worth of memories. So like
Is that what you're saying?
it's in there in the middle somewhere.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
so either way, this guy can only remember back 9 months. We're not sure when he woke up.
Yeah.
So he's become a private detective. The person who found him when he was, when he woke up is this woman who does sort of a voodoo Loa. She's like a priestess, but she uses 80s technology to do it.
She's dancing the Cool in the Gang.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, I saw like Get Down on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that supposed to be Cool in the Gang? And he
Yeah,
said, I was like, that's. And then they directly say it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I might have summoned a few demons in my life too. Dancing a cool in the gang, if that's
Yeah.
all it takes.
They were summoning lots of demons in that video. Have you ever seen the video when they're all wearing white dancing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He does that flip. God damn.
Oh shit.
They get down
Yeah.
on it.
Oh yeah. Also, every wedding ever.
Yes.
If Cool in the Gang is summoning demons, every wedding is haunted as fuck.
Yeah.
Or as I should say, possessed as fuck. Anyway.
There may be a some relationship between the amount of the divorce rate increasing,
And the amount of Cool in the Gang
that was
played at your
danced to without paying the gods any sort of
Right. Tribute or anything.
Tribute, right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Leave some cake, you fat pig. Leave it for the gods. Put a cigarette with it.
So the gods. Anyway, so this woman who's a voodoo priestess, like a tech voodoo priestess, has found him and she helped him become a private detective. And there's also some kind of mystery thing he's trying to figure out. I think what happened to him to make him like this, and then it kind of goes into almost a traditional detective story from there, where a woman, of course, like a woman, shows up in his office and she has a problem. Her boss is something's wrong with her boss is trying to kill her or something like that. So he goes off and tries to solve that. And along the way, it's just It's really weird.
Her boss who wears a luchador mask.
Who wears a luchador mask, yeah.
And she's like a hot jazz singer.
Yeah. And he,
Yeah, it is. It gets weird.
it gets really weird.
But like traditional in that sense, you know, this
right,
like
right, right, right.
sexy,
Yeah, it's
curvaceous jazz singer who needs the help of a PI.
yeah, it's a very true. Yeah, exactly. It's like the Maltese Falcon. You know, it's a very traditional kind of like Humphrey Bogart in Limbo.
This dame almost got me killed twice.
Yeah. There she was, standing there smoking a cigarette. But yeah,
Looking finer than a new pair of shoes.
Holy shit.
but yeah, it's a detective story, but some crazy shit happens. I don't know how much more we can talk about, like what is happening, because I don't know. I don't think any of us know.
too soon.
We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. But I actually I wish that I had looked at. I meant to look it up before we started recording. What seems like it happens to him, where he gets like pulled into another.
The TV.
Yeah, the TV. I
Yeah.
was say what the heck.
The tele.
Yeah.
The tele. Who?
Teleshaman.
Teleshaman. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's some mystic man who works through the TV. Well, this sounds.
He works for the woman's
Who's-
boss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he-
The
and, like,
luchador mask
Yeah.
guy.
And the guy he thinks he's got the upper hand, and then he gets sucked into like gets sucked into the reality of the TV, and like everything's like he's in these different shows or whatever, but a more sinister version of it. And it really reminded me of this one movie, and it's like one of those things that you saw when flipping channels on cable all the time. But I want to say it was somewhere in the, you might have seen it, Jared. It was the dad from Beetlejuice was like a TV salesman, and some schmuck who bought this TV that had 666 channels. It ended up like pulling him into the TV, and he was in.
That sounds familiar.
I know that
I
Was
don't know.
Weird Al in that?
I don't think.
No, you're thinking of UHF.
UHF.
UHF. No. I know UHF from
Oh,
like,
okay.
I fucking love that movie. But I remember this one that you're talking about now too.
Yeah, it's the dad from Beetlejuice, the redhead.
Does
Yeah,
anybody
it's-
know this
it was-
name of this movie? Send it. Like
He's also-
comment on the page and fucking
Yeah.
Because-
He's also the principal in
And Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And the main character who gets suckered into it is, man, I can see the guy's face. I don't really know his name, but he's like, kind of like a soft-faced '80s comedian, comedy actor. But I can't remember. Anyway, I'll have to look it up later. Maybe I'll look it up during the break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. I want to know because I remember. God, I haven't thought about that movie, but you're describing it, and I know exactly the movie you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the first time I've thought of it. Like reading this comic was the first time I thought of that plot device of getting sucked into the TV and like existing within that since having seen that at like 9 years old or something.
Yeah.
You know.
I think you were it was last night. I think we were about to talk about being sucked into the TV and what he says and how he describes being sucked into the TV, and it's like he's speaking figuratively and literally. Well, like literally for the character, but figuratively to the audience. He says like you start to zone out and you start
Right.
The brainwaves
the
thing.
brainwaves thing.
Yeah.
Talking about the brainwaves with because and I didn't. I said I was gonna fucking do it last night.
You liar. I actually, when I was reading that, because you told me that before I read it, and I'm like, well, Dan's gonna know a bunch about this. So.
Fuck,
He said he was gonna
man,
research it.
I shit the bed. But the different way, I mean, there's alpha, theta, delta, the different brain waves. But I mean, I guess they did studies. They can show that whenever you're just fucking zoned out on TV, your brain starts producing these low level, like this non-thinking brain wave.
like you're asleep.
Like you're asleep. Yeah. Like your brain function is just like you're a zombie.
Right.
Um,
What I kind of took away from the fact that there's like the teleshaman and the lower god appears whenever she dances to music, the tape unravels and he appears as like the tape creates his form.
Yeah.
Was she calling him Dad?
Papa.
It's Papa Shango. Papa Shango?
Papa Shango.
No,
that's
Papa
he's a wrestler.
something. Yeah.
That's Papa.
I love
I think she
Papa
just says
something.
Papa. I don't know. Maybe she says his
I
whole
forget the name of the lower. It's Papa.
Papa Shango is a great wrestler.
While you're looking that up, I'll say on Dan's comment, the thing with the brainwaves. There was I didn't retain the name of the photographer, but there was a photographer that did a series of photographs taking pictures of little kids watching TV. No TV in the picture, like they TV's out of the frame.
Right.
But in these pictures, like if you didn't know they were watching TV, you think that they were brain dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. I have a niece, a young niece and a nephew. And they're both, they've always been just like a lot of other kids, really into TV. And I would notice that, I'd go over to like my parents' house, we'd all be hanging out, like the TV would be on.
And you look around.
And there would just be like a glaze on their eyes.
Yeah.
My nephew's getting a bit older but he's still very involved with like screen activities. And it does. And we were at dinner tonight for my sister's birthday and I was fucking with him. And because I was thinking about this, I was like, hey dude, you gotta get off that fucking phone, man. That screen. It's like it's killing your brain. It's gonna pull you in, literally.
Suck you in.
And he's 13 now, so he just looks at me. He's like, and he calls me Uncle Lolly. He's like, this motherfucker is so weird. Like, has he always been this weird? Like, yeah, this dude. Like, he's getting old enough to realize that I'm
Right.
just like this fucking total weirdo. But that's not how all adults interact with teenagers. But. Yeah, I don't know. I hope that they go a bit more into what's actually happening, like a bit of the maybe the neuroscience or something.
Well, what I was going to say was the fact that this almost kind of reminds me a little bit of anybody read American Gods?
No, but I fucking
Okay.
love
Well,
Gaiman.
the character's Papa Legba, and that's I forget if Legba is in American Gods or not, but what I think they're getting at is that like one of the kind of supernatural forces is the television, but she worships music and she worships like the medium. It's like the mediums are the gods. And so the jazz singer's boss is a disciple of the television, and so they're I'm not sure what they're doing. There's like a room where they're all sitting around watching the television, and like the guy sacrifices a goat to the TV.
Yeah,
and it gets sucked into the TV.
Mm-hmm.
But
weird.
she dances to the music, and the music is like another kind of ritual. So it's like commentary on maybe the different kind of media rituals that we have. Well, I think that's really interesting.
The metaphor may be strong with this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legba also is whatever the connection of it is, like in religions and stuff. But the movie Crossroads,
Yeah.
the devil that mashed potato Johnson is anyway the devil figure at a certain point in the movie he calls himself Legba.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So guys,
Fuck, I can't believe you remember that. Wow.
So I'm doing my research on the fly here. Delta waves, the brain waves that are referenced, and I hope somebody appreciates this reference as much as like I do in this comic book. But so delta brain waves are the slowest brain waves, and they're generated in the deepest sleep and dream, or deepest meditation and dreamless sleep, and they suspend external awareness.
Okay.
Right. So I don't know if those correspond to like television watching, just as
Right.
us.
So it's like
Maybe
when you sleep through an alarm, that's what is happening. Like you're not. There's no stimuli to getting through.
right, perhaps
Yeah.
but there's a bunch: theta, alpha, beta, gamma.
All the Greek alphabet letters.
Yeah. Nice.
I like it whenever they start to incorporate some science, some shit that.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Yo,
we
getting
can
them
wildly
sigma waves
speculate
going
about.
on.
Yeah. I thought it was rad. The thing I really liked about it, though, the main character, he's like in these situations, and it almost reminds me of Ash, because he's like he's in these situations. He's like, oh fuck this, like, this is bullshit.
It's really happening.
Yeah, like come on, and
It's always one thing after another.
yeah.
God
So-
damn it.
Yeah, he was a good character.
Yeah.
I liked how the colors were always changing in the book.
Yeah, the art was fantastic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like
There's
when he-
no regular coloring. in
No,
this.
there wasn't. Everything was different. And when he was in the TV, I liked how it showed, like, the panels were set up with the different TV scenes.
Doing the other
But
different
then
shows he was in.
But he was crawling like from panel to panel.
Yeah.
It was a really cool like visual way to
Yeah.
describe how he was moving through
Right.
everything. Like,
Yeah.
that was very cool.
Yeah.
And then the video game part was pretty neat too.
Yeah.
8-bit
Yeah,
video
yeah.
game.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
how he
Yeah.
fucking killed the teleshaman.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
really
that
cool.
was rad.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, and she used a different medium to
A third medium.
a third medium, which is related to the television medium, but to defeat the teleshaman. I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe it was because it was outside of his like realm of expertise, like because video game, especially this is in the 80s. I'm seemingly.
Sort of, I
Looks
don't
like
know.
maybe like early 90s, something like that.
Cassette tape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she has
That's
cassette
true.
tapes
And
and,
then
stuff. So,
the old school TV.
so
oh yeah,
I,
it is a cathode ray.
yeah,
Yeah.
As we've been talking about this, and as I've been thinking about it right now, that Nintendo system would have been a newer thing whenever this is coming out. So he might not be
A
familiar.
shaman.
He,
Ways.
He knows the television, but he might not know how video games work.
Yeah.
So she plugs in the video game, and he's like, "Whoa, wait, what is this?" It's like an old person at the time playing a video game.
What does he say before he blips out of the screen? He leaves like an ominous message to him.
Yeah, he
you're
does
looking
say
at the book
something.
Yeah, I am, but I'm looking at the first book.
now. Oh, I'll take all.
Yeah, there's some significance to what he says. So maybe he didn't kill him. He just defeated him temporarily, and we might see the teleshaman again.
maybe.
Or
Right,
like
and that's what it seemed. Because if he's just a manifestation of whatever these
Right.
electrical impulses, then I mean you
He
can't
could
kill
probably
him.
He can probably show up again.
Like the fucking Matrix.
Yes. Yeah.
He says, as so the main character, what's the main character's name? Anybody?
Clay.
Clay.
Clay, yeah.
Clay picks up the remote, and he says, like, let's see how you like it. And he points the remote at him, and I'm not sure what he presses, but the shaman says, wait, don't, I can, and then he hits the remote button, and you don't know what he's about to say.
It was-
And then as he's dying, he says, now that's entertainment.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
I think it's I took it that he hit fast forward, so it had like
He hit fast forward.
a
Yeah, so he
time
aged
machine.
him, like kind of like the end of Last Crusade.
Yeah, last I was thinking
He chose poorly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking the time machine also,
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
the Morlocks sort of like decompose before the
Mm.
time traveler dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What's wild, if you look on the shaman's face, I'm just realizing this now. His face is a remote control. It's the eject button, rewind, fast forward.
Oh yeah, like
stop,
his
pause,
makeup
stop,
like looks.
pause.
Yeah.
his,
Yeah.
and I didn't see that the first
I
time.
did
Yeah,
not
I didn't see that
either.
either.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's cool. And on his
See that
sleeve is a pause button, and then it shows close-ups of his boots, which are directional and fast forward, rewind.
Very cool.
It's
Hmm.
fucking cool.
But
And I'm just seeing this
why
the
the
second
fuck
time
does
I'm going
the
through.
drug lord luchador mask wearing guy worship the teleshaman? Like, I don't,
Well, it's he's not worshiping the shaman. He's worshiping the TV.
The TV?
Or whatever the powers the TV gives them.
As Clay put it, the teleshaman is an employee of
Mm.
the jazz singer's
Yeah.
employer.
okay, you're right. Yeah.
A lot of people nowadays worship their screens, and it's like not
Oh,
not
yeah.
as not,
Right,
as not as religious
right.
figures, but you're paying tribute every time you look at your phone or every time you turn the television on. And you fucking zone out in front of it. It's like they're not necessarily, they don't realize maybe they're not worshiping it, but they're
Which
doing
is
it.
even worse because it's not
Yeah.
intentional.
Right. It's absolutely worse. Yeah.
I mean,
Just
heck,
like-
in a way, you could say any idol. I mean, to reference one of those 1,000-year-old books, they say one of the messages is beware of false idols. And like right now we're in a comic book shop, and I'm looking at like Batman right in front of me. Is several different depictions of him in 3 dimensions. They're available for sale. You can have it in your home on display.
Yeah.
There's a
On
few.
display, never take it out of the box. If I can put it up there to look at.
Collectors.
Yeah.
Or else you
Um,
upset things.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
the slippery slope.
Yeah.
The slippery slope we're at the crest of.
No, I'm cool, man. I can quit anytime.
yeah. Well, I'm glad we went over this a little bit because I think all of our brain power together,
Yes, we got
The-
somewhere.
yeah, the 5 mind got somewhere.
It's a good book. I'm glad.
It is a good.
I'm
book.
glad you picked that, Jared, because I really didn't like when it came out. I was like, I'll get around to reading that.
Yeah.
But when you said we were going to talk about it, I read it, and I'm glad you did. It was very
Yeah,
good,
it's
enjoyable.
killer.
So after that, we've got Klaus.
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 Klaus. Okay.
Wow.
So
I really like
Klaus.
this one.
yeah.
I really
Joe,
like
would you like to
Klaus.
give the synopsis of this one?
It's about Santa Claus.
But who writes it? Who writes it?
That's a good
Graham
point.
Morrison.
Oh,
who
okay, yeah.
who wrote Nameless,
Oh,
which
right.
yeah.
which we talked about a couple episodes ago, and we talked about how fucking nuts it was.
Right.
Mm.
And then he comes out with a book about Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Right. But he's still bringing that same thing that he brought to Nameless. I feel like whenever he went to the forest,
Mhm.
whenever
Oh, yeah.
Klaus
Yes.
Yeah.
Klaus was kicked
Klaus,
out and sent to the forest. Anyway, Jared, fucking take it away,
Yeah,
man.
let's do it.
Actually, what I do want to say before anybody else says it, that like if you're just in the store and like flipping through this, make sure you get to like the center and look at this splash page.
Oh, yeah.
This
yeah.
splash page
It's
is
awesome.
Psychedelic.
Yeah.
it's so psychedelic and crazy.
Intentionally
That's
psychedelic.
That's
Yeah.
the best one I've
because
seen in so long.
What it's
So good.
proposing is the same thing that like people propose all the time. Like the black and white on Santa Claus's outfit is talking or is reference to the mushrooms that grow in that area that have psilocybin in them that create these hallucinogenic these psychedelic experiences, and they would oftentimes, like whatever the Vikings, the people in Scandinavia, would the fucking what are they, reindeer,
Yeah.
would eat the mushrooms,
Mhm.
and then they would piss, and then they would drink that piss and fucking hallucinate.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's gotta be what they're referencing in here.
Probably.
Well, I think
yeah.
in that soup that he makes, it says, or no, sorry, it shows that in the soup there's like some mushrooms floating in there, right? Isn't there?
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
mushrooms. And they're definitely mushrooms. You can tell too.
Yeah.
Right?
They got little
Wait,
spots on them, and they
he
got
makes- he
like
makes a soup?
the bottom
Oh,
of it. You can
fuck
tell.
yeah! I thought
Yeah.
those were bubbles.
And he tells
Yeah.
the wolf,
I thought
he's
they were
like,
bubbles.
"This is not for
Yeah,
you."
he tells the wolf not to
Right.
eat it. Yeah.
He's
yeah.
got
for
a
you.
wolf friend.
So, Jared, for everyone listening who doesn't know what this book is, give it a brief.
Well, it is like I don't know how to explain this. It's like a medieval depiction of Santa Claus and like how he began.
Mm.
And I don't know. This is tough.
Medieval,
Let's explain this.
medieval
Taking Santa Claus.
barbaric.
Yeah.
He goes. He's lives in the wilderness, and he goes to a town that he had been to before to trade furs for food and other supplies, and he discovers that the town is now full of assholes.
Yeah.
Like everybody that he knew is gone, and it's a very strict dictatorship, it seems, and in the military guards kick him out, and he goes to a bar before that, and the bartender's gone, and there's this guy who's telling him like, don't say anything because they'll hear you.
Yeah.
Sort of like Big Brother's watching you. And he gets kicked out of the town. So
And also like beat up and shot with an
yes.
arrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Treat
Not
him like
before
shit.
cracking some motherfucker for hitting a kid, though.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah,
respect.
which right, like that little Santa Claus element, like he was okay to leave, and he really wasn't gonna get aggressive until that guard hit the kid.
Yeah.
And then he was pissed.
Yeah.
And I was hoping, because Santa Claus, and the Claus is jacked.
He's
He looks
huge.
like
Huge.
fucking
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Fucking
You know,
Wolverine.
he's just
Yeah.
like
Wolverine Conan, like
yeah,
great mix.
right. Like the height of Conan, but like the built like Wolverine just
Yeah.
looks tough. And I thought he was gonna rip through those fucking guards.
Yeah.
He just cracks two dudes and they beat the piss out of him.
Because there's like four of them. They have spears.
Right. I
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, I was hoping.
Yeah.
You know, he'd knock the shit out of him, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And he had to hide.
I also
Yeah.
I also don't think that he was trying to hurt or kill anybody. He was just paying that guy back in kind for hitting that kid.
Yes.
Sure.
He's like, you hit a kid, I hit you.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he wanted to murder him.
No,
or,
no,
or
no.
not that. I guess that wouldn't be murder. Going back into the topic from last podcast,
Right, yeah.
What is murder? But so he didn't want to kill him.
No.
I don't think.
Yeah, they do kick the shit out of him. There's 5 dudes just kicking him on the ground.
Yeah, they're gonna fucking stab him if they
Yeah.
find him out in the woods or out on the.
At least it's realistic in that way. Like he's not like a total badass who's just like
Yeah, it's semi-realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
he's not
does
taken
kill
out.
a moose with a knife, though.
Well,
his
people have
wolf
done
helps
that.
His
him.
wolf helps him, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the wolf
you're
comes
right,
in from the other side.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah, the
very
moose
cool.
thing is crazy and just like
Is that a double
Monstrous.
splash?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's a
fucking
pretty
rad,
awesome
That was
dude.
cool
scene.
too.
So-
The other one is too, the one I was talking about, the psychedelic. And there's
there's
the alien things.
and the alien
Alien ghosts.
Yeah, there's all kinds of. There's
Well,
like three.
they're wood spirits. They're woodland spirits. Those things coming out of there. You know, they're not aliens.
He's like,
elf.
don't fuck
I
this
guess
up.
those are his elves. Those are
yet-
Santa Claus's elves, though, right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Blue
Yeah.
alien
No,
ghosts.
exactly,
Yeah.
dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
As
Fucking elves.
Spielberg says to George Lucas, well, what are they going to look like, George? Oh, they'll look like aliens. Well, okay. All right, George, whatever. One thing that's cool about I just want to say, up to a certain point, if you didn't know it was about Santa Claus, it's spoiler alert, I guess. It's just a really great, like, kind of raw, gritty, dirty story about some dude who's going into it. I kind of got some hint of like, not exactly First Blood, but kind of where like it's a stranger in a town and like trouble with the authorities. They kick him out, and then he just decides to take matters into his own hands.
That might be where this is going. Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
think
the
you're
thing.
right.
I think it's the opposite of that. He gets kicked out of the town, and he does kind of decide to take matters into his own hands. But it's Santa Claus, so he's not going to go and like guns blazing. At the end, he figures out like he somehow in this trance overnight he has created a bunch of toys.
After he had his mushroom trip, he wakes
Yeah.
up and there's all these toys, and he's like, "What did I
So
do?"
he's just like, well, I guess I'm gonna go give these toys to all those kids in that town. Like I'm gonna pay back their negativity
But come
with
on.
a bunch of kindness.
He's gonna have to go in there violent at first
I
and
don't know.
kill the dictator guy.
Yeah.
And the
Well, no, I
guards.
imagine that's why he has to sneak around. Like, why do you say like Santa has to sneak around at night?
I just want
'Cause he
to
has
point
to-
out that Claus, he whittled an alligator. I just don't believe alligators are made up for that era. I'm just kidding. There's
No, maybe it's a dragon.
it is no, it's an alligator.
It looks like an
But he
alligator.
saw it in his vision. I think he was.
But it's
transported
it's
maybe,
like Scandinavian, so it probably is a dragon.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't do it at all. It was them
all winged
spirits that
dragons.
did it.
right. It
The
was
ghost,
spirits.
the ghost alien
Elf spirit.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just being an asshole, but I did get hung up on that for a minute.
Like, is that a fucking alligator? God damn.
How do you know? How do you know what
I can't
alligators
get.
are?
It's like I understand. There's woodland spirits, and he's friends with a wolf.
Yeah.
and
All the
he's
sudden
he's
shit.
walking around in wintertime with no clothes on.
Oh.
But is that a fucking alligator?
He whittled an alligator?
Why would he know what an alligator is?
You're like, whoa, this is dumb.
Now this is ridiculous.
This is
Yeah,
Fuck this. You
wrong-
build all these toys in the middle
wrong part
of
of
the
the world. Come on now.
night. Come on, this is shitty world building.
Dozens.
Yeah, dozens of intricate toys in one evening.
I have to imagine this is gonna get violent though. Like it's
I'm sure it
Grant
will,
Morrison,
yeah.
Yeah.
and like he doesn't really do anything lightly.
No man is built like Klaus.
Right.
To not
Yeah.
at some point wreck some shit.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
got
I mean,
a
yeah.
sword.
He does
I
have
mean,
a sword.
I'll say this
Does he have a
image.
sword?
Yeah, look
Oh
at
yeah,
that
he does
sword.
have a sword.
This
yeah.
image on the front cover, I don't remember this being in this particular issue. Like,
No,
at some
no,
point
it's
exactly.
not.
So
That's probably right
That's
after they
just
kill
like
that deer.
it's
He's,
him
uh,
and his wolf.
he's
Yeah.
covered in
That was
blood.
Just one day if something happened.
Yeah.
It's that's like a That's like a Game of Thrones dire wolf. There, that is
Yeah.
not
Mm,
a little wolf.
Yeah.
It is a big ass wolf.
Yeah.
Maybe he's built that way so he can take a beating. You know, 'cause like some big fat guy's not gonna be able to get the shit kicked out of him by 5 guys and be okay.
although there was that really fucking like super obese dude who was like 400 and some pounds, and he got run over by a truck. This was in real life, like in real
What?
life or a bus or something. He got run over by like a big fucking vehicle, and he was cool, man, because he had so much fat.
He's like
it could not squish his organs. I guess I don't know what
the
happened.
X-Men villain, the Blob.
The Blob,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
essentially, but in real life, man, this was like fucking 5-6 years ago.
Wow.
He got run over by a big vehicle. He was fine. He was cool. He's like, "No, man, I'm actually all right."
That's a
I'm a little winded from getting back up. But
That's a contender for Stan Lee's show. What is it like?
Oh,
what's Stan Lee's show? It's like
Stan
like
Lee's Super People. Is that
Stan
what it
Lee's
is?
Super People.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
God damn, I love that.
that's
shit.
got to be an episode on there.
Dude, but he would clown them all. He's like, "No, seriously, go get run over by a truck."
Yeah.
We were waiting for the end of that show when he like goes, "Okay, I got a van." Like everybody in the van, because he's like assembling a team.
Right?
Have you
yeah.
seen the show?
Yeah, I've watched
Oh
it.
my
But wait,
god!
I actually haven't seen this show. What is it?
You watched it with us.
Yeah, we saw it at your
Yeah.
house.
It's dumb as fuck.
It's
For
where
Real life
everybody
super people. Remember the electric guy who gets electrocuted?
Oh yeah. Okay. So for everybody who is listening and doesn't know what it is, just what Stanley collects people who like.
He collects real life superhero people, but their powers are very weak and lame. And
Well,
They're just made up.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
like Mystery Men.
the one guy
It's
is
like I shovel well.
Yeah.
well, the one
I shovel very well.
Well, the one episode that I saw, in fairness, the one episode that I saw, it's not Stanley himself doing the interview on camera most of the time. I think he just does the introduction maybe in
Yeah,
the
he
closing
does.
comments.
I'm Stanley.
Yeah.
This I knew about this stuff back when I was writing. Blah blah blah. Anyway, but then
I
it was
stole all my ideas from Jack Kirby.
yeah.
Whoa.
I'll bet he mentions that once or twice. He does. The bulk of it was these two guys that were talking to. In the episode that I saw, it was some, I'll say Buddhist. I mean, I'm kind of generalizing, but some monk or something where who was able to withstand pain and extreme physical conditions where the guy was able to drill an electric drill into his throat. And
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
yeah, and they were able to measure the PSI, and it was something pretty intense. But he was just able to go and withstand
Yeah.
without.
Feels like a
breaking
Ripley's
skin.
Believe It or Not.
Right.
Man, I'm
Like
gonna
a really
check
low-
that fucking drill bit. I don't believe that shit.
Yeah.
I've seen the Shaolin monks have the spear in their throat, in that point on their throat where they're able to hang. But that's something that you can condition yourself to do. It's not magical or metaphysical. It's something that you train at, and you continue
Use
just
like a
apply
duller
more pressure,
thing.
more
Right.
pressure, more pressure, until eventually you can hang there. But if you took a Shaolin monk and put a razor point on the end of that spear, and they put goddamn any pressure, it's gonna be through the back of their head.
Yeah.
You know,
That's just how that would work.
Right. You can't. Maybe you can. Who knows?
Well, I think that's probably what it was. Is he's just conditioned himself to that point,
Maybe.
and
But I mean, that's but that's defying actual physics. You're heating up. You're heating that up. That drill is spinning at whatever fucking 6,000
Oh, yeah.
revolutions per minute, flying, heating up the skin. Man, I'm just calling bullshit. And that's because I've had 4 drinks of Bullet Bourbon Frontier whiskey.
Yeah.
Bourbon Frontier whiskey.
Nice plug.
To get back to Claus real fast, there's a part.
Oh, that comment.
Yeah, that we were talking about. Yeah, we were just talking about that. But whenever they cut back to, and we talked about this earlier, I think it was before you got here. They cut back to the castle, and it's the guy in the hood who I guess is the Lord or whatever. He's
douchey
the leader.
Lord. Yeah.
And he says, "Did you hear that? Did you hear the voices from the pit?" And the other his minions what? No, I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. And then he changes the subject. I want to know what that's all about. What is the pit, and what is he? Is he crazy? What? It's right here.
That's where they keep the Rancor.
Yeah, the Rancor.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something there,
Yeah.
and then obviously that kid is a shit. The royal kid,
Oh, yeah.
and he's gonna get coal.
Yeah.
It's
Claus.
it's fucking.
Or maybe he'll
Joffrey.
kill
Yeah.
him or something. It'll be something crazy.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Oh, that
kid,
would be the
man.
most brutal Santa
Yeah.
Claus ever.
They're like, oh
You're
my
bad. Fuck you.
He used to punish you with death.
Done.
No, maybe Santa changes his heart and he becomes a better version of his parents.
You are way too
Maybe,
positive.
Yeah,
right now.
holy shit. Like the Grinch,
Wow.
what? His heart grew 5 sizes?
Where is
One thing
this?
I love is
Where is this positivity coming from?
well that kid. One thing that I think is cool is I think
No, he kills him.
I think it's
Beats him to his wolf.
I think it's the hooded figure that's talking to. I think that the hooded figure's talking to the kid. It's like sort of filters the truth into words that the kid hears. So of course, the kid probably never leaves the castle, but he says something like oh well, all the. I'm so sorry that you were disappointed with all the
Nice stuff.
the Yuletide
thing
meal.
it took them a year to build for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so
this
shitty.
Yuletide gift that took the technicians a year to build, or this meal that was given to you. All the people of the town love you so much. That's why they give you their food, so that they want you to be happy. It's like everyone else is starving around the town.
How to
Yeah.
raise a dickhead. Say this to him.
Yeah.
No, I just saw something though. Where are all the other townspeople? They're
men.
in the
men. And
they're
Klaus
in the
brings them up.
mines.
In the mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there's coal.
Oh, shit, dude.
I didn't even think of that.
Maybe he kills him and leaves
I
him.
just thought of it.
Brilliant.
That kid's gonna get coal.
Yes,
He's gonna get all the coal.
all of it.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know. That's
He's
just
gonna
like
throw him
fucking-
in the fucking mine with all the coal.
Yeah, that's even better. Yeah,
He's gonna trap
lock
him in there or
He's gonna
something.
lock all them
And
in the
that's
coal.
how he has
Yeah.
a change of heart, and he comes back to be a nice ruler.
Oh, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know
Damn.
if you can like change a kid by locking him in a fucking coal mine. I
Yeah,
think
that
fuck him
kid's
up
a
worse.
fucking
Yeah.
asshole.
But like, in my opinion, and I mean, you're a dad, Dan. Like, I think kids are like mostly just like dogs, where like they're a reflection of their owner. Like an asshole kid is
yeah,
a
that's
reflection of
true.
asshole
Yeah,
parents. You know,
yeah.
an asshole dog is largely the reflection of asshole owners.
Very true.
Very true, yeah.
I actually saw a meme for that. It was Morgan today. Morgan Freeman was like sitting there talking, and he said it was something about that. Like kids are their parents. So if you're a dick, your kid's gonna be a dick. And
Right.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good thing you're not a politician because someone would have swept at that clip. Kids are just basically dogs, and then just cut it off right there
Yeah.
without the rest of the explanation.
Paid for by your competitor. Yeah.
And then they would cut right to like a kill shelter.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then Sarah McLachlan comes in.
Yeah.
And you are buried. Your political career buried.
Done.
I just came up with an idea. We could if we were to do a trailer for episodes like before hearing the whole hour episode or however long, we just had like a brief like 15-second spot for the episode and just like little quotes. That's one of them. That's going in there. That's going in there.
Kids are like fucking dogs.
Just everything out of context.
Yeah.
Just have like a bunch of those in a row.
Yeah, you could cut this podcast up and make us all sound like demons.
We had
Horrible
like
people.
a million more followers. Huffington Post.
Oh, man.
would fucking be all over
they'd
that.
crush
And
it.
it'd
Oh
be
yeah,
like,
oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. They take something out of context and then like someone posts on Facebook like, "These guys said this one time." And, like, if you ever listen to the actual podcast, we said a bunch of other stuff after that. And
Southside Comics supports infanticide.
Oh, they would have said something earlier about how we were talking about like sympathizing with Kilgrave a little bit. They would have made us like, "Oh yeah, rape's fine."
According to grown-up human comic people.
Assholes. Yeah. They. Oh man, we'd be
Condemn them.
We'd be skewered.
Rape's
Yeah.
fine as long as it's incest.
Just reworking 15 second, like 4-second clips.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
into an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know if we're done with Klaus, but if we are, we should do one of the follow-ups right now.
Okay. Yeah.
With either
yeah.
Twilight Children
We
or
forgot. We were
Paper
gonna do that
Girls.
earlier. We forgot.
Yeah. Well, this was already here. Twilight
Yeah,
Children.
we
Man.
wanted to do this earlier, but we forgot because we got so caught up with Jessica Jones. But we want to check into books we talked about earlier,
Right.
and we've all continued to read Twilight Children and Paper Girls.
Yes.
So we're gonna just let you know what's going on a little bit.
Yeah. So who wants to go first? Twilight Children.
Twilight Children art. I mean, it's still fantastic. It's the same artist, Darwin Cook, obviously. But I feel like the story gets more confusing issue to issue.
Yeah.
And we've had 3, and there's only 4, so I don't know how it's gonna wrap up. Like I'm disappointed in that end, but still, the story is very good because there's still a lot of good things happening. I just don't think. I don't know whose fault it is, but I don't think it's given enough time to grow as a story.
I agree. I also forgot at the beginning of the second one. There's a flashback of Bundo whenever his family's still alive.
Oh yeah.
First of all, this is one of the saddest pictures I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's a picture of Bundo. For those of you who can't see it, everybody.
Holding a family portrait.
It's him holding a picture of his entire family, just with the sad look in his face in front of it's
But
heartbreaking.
But in that issue, doesn't it? It plays out the whole scene
Yeah, it
where his
shows
family dies,
exactly
and
what
it's not
happens.
his fault.
No, it's not his fault.
No.
And, yeah, because in the first issue they say his house burned down and
Because he smoked a cigarette.
Smoked a cigarette. But yeah, that's not what happened. His family was taken just like some of these other people.
Yes.
But apparently they've been taken for much longer than because all this stuff is happening again or whatever. But apparently, I guess Bundo saw this happen the first time, and we don't know what.
No, there's 5 nerds in here. We're being yelled at from the street by
yes, we're being yelled at
by
by
someone
the
who's
street.
drinking, and they said there are 2 nerds.
We were
no,
just
3 nerds.
we were
no,
just
4 nerds.
stereotyped.
Yeah.
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 My safe space
Yeah.
was invaded. I feel terrible right now.
I
Yeah.
shouldn't have to defend myself.
No, we shouldn't have to sit in here and listen to people walk by on the street in a public space. That's ridiculous.
My safe space. My safe space.
Sorry.
But anyway, so I guess all these abductions and things happened earlier to Bundo's family, which makes his story even more depressing. He just turned into like an alcoholic and
I feel terrible
all
for
this
him.
stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that in the second one.
And then he gets abducted, right?
Yeah, and then he gets abducted. So I mean,
But he's so happy when he gets abducted.
because he
He's
probably
this-
sees his family again.
Yeah.
Well, no, but he's this naked, fat guy just floating around, and the scientist gets sucked up into this ethereal space, and he's just like, "I don't worry about it. You can go back. Everything's okay."
Yeah.
You know. And,
But then the scientist dude gets abducted, and he doesn't remember what happens. I really don't know what's going on.
It is a really confusing story.
Yeah, if everything hinges on the 4th book for this.
I know,
Everything hinges on
and
the 4th book.
it has 32 pages to pull it off.
Yeah,
Wow.
is
unless
that all? They're
That's
only going
like-
to do 32 pages.
That's like commonplace.
Yeah,
I
but I
mean-
was hoping they would just release something monster. Like maybe like a
maybe
300
they will.
page-
That won't happen.
It's gonna
But
be
maybe
a
we'll
whole
get a
trade.
double.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a double, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
So it's DC. So usually
Because
doesn't
I love
happen.
it, man. Like I love this fucking book.
Yeah.
Like Twilight Children is killing it. I love
I do
the
too.
setting. I'm reading the book, and I fucking feel like I'm in this little Caribbean town.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Like, and it feels warm.
The setting is soothing.
It is soothing, and
Yeah.
you know you have some motherfuckers who try to shoot somebody, his hands catch on fire. And
Oh, that was great. That was great.
It's like instant karma. It's just all beautiful. You know, he got his due. Like it wasn't him who burned down his house. He wasn't the fuck up.
Yeah.
It was
Just
the aliens.
from the first issue to the second issue, and when as soon as you open up the second issue,
Yeah.
there's feels. It gives you
Yeah, dude. For
feels.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
and so and they're everything, even the kind of sadder moments in that book are like a little bit. They're still comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
fucking love
nice.
it, dude.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
Yeah.
I goddamn love this book. I'm sad that there's only one more.
But
So
I mean,
keep
hopefully,
reading.
we'll definitely check in with when the last one comes up,
Yeah, absolutely.
so we can let our listeners know exactly how we felt about
I
Yeah.
would
the
say
whole thing.
this might just in terms all together, all around, my favorite book.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that we've talked about on this podcast.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just because of I really dig the story. I like the feel, and it's both thought provoking for me and also a pleasant escape from Pittsburgh in the late fall and winter months.
Yeah. Okay.
It's great. It's a great winter read.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
pick it up
Pick
for-
up the first 3 issues. The fourth one will be out sometime.
Yes.
Yeah.
At some point, and come see Dan. He'll point it out and sell it to you.
Yeah. Did you guys any comments on this?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope,
all right.
fuck that shit.
We're gonna wrap it up for this first part of episode 5. So
Did we talk about Paper Girls?
we'll do it on
Do that for the
Save that
next-
for later?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys next week for part 2 of episode 5 of Grown Up Human Comic People.
Be nice to people out
Should
there.
we change the way we number the episodes?
You might be right. Maybe this is just episode 5, and then the next one's gonna be 6.
I like that better.
It's
Yeah.
easier to follow because, like, what you just did there,
Yeah.
like, that's what I always do. I'm like, it's part. Oh,
Well, I only say that
forget.
because whenever if someone listens to part 1 and then part 2, they get that we were here in one. It's one period of time that we record them. So
Mhm.
and they kind of make more sense if you listen to them back to back. So if someone listens to them like say the first the episode 2 now,
Right.
they haven't waited for a week. They're just like listening to them back to back.
Somebody
so.
should give us feedback. We need feedback
yeah,
to know
yeah,
if that's
yeah.
a
Get
good,
on the inner
if that's
tubes.
the way you like to listen to it, then we'll keep doing it. If
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
prefer
Tell us
not
what-
to, then we'll stop that.
Yeah, tell us if it's confusing, if it's part 1 and 2, or if you think that's good. Because I think that it's good to do it that way, because then if someone listens to those 2 episodes in a row, then they have an idea. Also, they can track how drunk we get.
Yeah.
Because if you just listen to the
also
second half of
true.
something, we're starting off.
Yeah, because
You
I'm on
know.
drink number 5 of Bullet Bourbon Frontier whiskey.
Yeah.
Which we're almost done with.
Yeah.
fuck.
God.
That's all right. We have still have a whole
We-
bunch
we're
of
not-
Heaven
we're-
Hill
we're
old
good.
style
Yeah,
bourbon
we're-
Kentucky Straight.
Somebody may send us another bottle before the evening's done.
And when we ask for your opinion, think of this as a call to action in your life. This week, whenever you're listening to it, today, tonight, tomorrow morning,
Right now.
have a
Now.
fucking opinion. When someone asks you chocolate or vanilla, have a fucking opinion. When someone says, what do you want to do?
Greg, chocolate or
have
vanilla?
Vanilla.
Look, like
My man.
Greg, be
Yep.
like Greg and have a goddamn opinion. When someone says, what do you want to do? Think of something. I don't know. What do you want to eat?
Speak directly.
I don't know.
Speak directly.
Speak directly. Be like fucking Klaus.
You know what? I would like to do
Yeah.
this tonight.
Yeah.
And all your friends are going to know, hey, maybe we should do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when you have 6 motherfuckers sitting around, I don't know. Well, maybe we should just fucking stay in again and just stare at each other. Maybe you shouldn't come out at all. Maybe we shouldn't even hang out tonight.
When you say stare at each other, you mean stare at our own phones
at our
Oh.
own phones.
while we sit in front of the television.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Wow,
and,
yeah, that's
and
shitty.
sit there apathetically. So when we say, let us know what you think.
Let us know what you fucking think.
No. Do you want 2 episodes or 1 episode with 2 parts?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want 2 episodes? One of which we start off inexplicably drunk.
we could, put some indicator that 1 is the drunk episode.
Right. That's kind of funny, actually. That maybe that.
Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do.
Yeah, let us know what you
But
think.
we want to hear what you think.
We want to hear what the people think. Yeah. So
All 6 of you.
on that, I'll have you know there's at least 2 subscribers to the YouTube channel at this point.
There's,
look.
there's 5 on Player FM.
Ooh, all right.
Uh-huh.
And I know I personally I don't think maybe I did subscribe. I don't know.
I subscribed on iTunes.
It sounds
Okay, so
like
it's
a
not
race
Dan.
to me.
Yeah, it's not
That's
me.
what that sounds like.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a race.
Yeah. All right. So that's
also be nice to each other. It's
That's it.
December.
Yeah.
This is a special month for a lot of different people.
Right.
just
and
just
we
be nice
did
to be everybody.
we did talk about a book about Santa Claus.
That's true.
Right.
That's
you
true.
know, To
Right.
support the spirit.
Yeah, of just being nice. Everybody's real stressed out this month. You
Yeah.
know?
So when you're looking for stocking stuffers for your little nieces and nephews, come to your local comic book shop
Yeah.
and look around.
Yeah.
and get a Supergirl comic or a Supergirl figure. Think about giving a Supergirl figure to your nephew.
Hey, there's a lot of,
There's
a lot of people that like Supergirl now.
no,
Yeah.
for sure.
The show
for
is-
sure.
the show's all right.
And,
The show's
what,
all right.
what I'm saying is,
Martian Manhunter showed
it's
up.
not
last
just for
episode.
girls. Get that for your young nephew.
Yeah.
Oh,
Martian fucking Manhunter.
Or a bottle of
Oh
bourbon.
my
I
God.
gotta buy that. Okay, that's
It
fine.
was like
Wait, I missed something.
I said, because we're like, oh, you can come to your local comic book shop, like get something, and I'm like, or get them a bottle of Bullet bourbon.
For your young nieces and nephews.
Yes.
It's never too young to start drinking.
They can just hold
regardless
on
of
to
what
it.
federal and state law
Well,
establishes.
various state laws say that if you're with your parental units, then and you're at your house, that's fine.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think you just made that up.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's true. You can get
Yeah.
fucked up when you're a kid.
Yeah.
As long as you're with your parents.
There might be a younger like a lower age limit. It might be like 14 or something, but I'm pretty sure that you can still if
And this is how
with
incest
parental approval.
happens. This is how incest happens.
and
folks.
we're full circle.
How incest happens. I've got to say, also, like, all kidding aside, there are medical reasons not to do that, like to a developing brain, by the way. So take that with more than a few grains of salt, please. But good God.
Likely offended a lot of people.
Yeah, we're doing
we
pretty
just-
well there for a while.
We're
And
just
then
getting
we just-
started.
we're just getting started. We're gonna do the second half in a second here. So
Stay tuned.
everybody, stay tuned. Yeah.
See you guys later. Take
See
it
you
easy
later.
out there.
Yeah.
Play that next week. Play that music.